What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, want to talk about Until Dawn's remake. Now, this is, of course, the hot topic news that came out very, very early yesterday. Now, I have a lot to say about it, so I don't want to, take up too much of your time. Let's jump in. This comes from Account NGT. Now, I want to talk about him maybe towards the middle or end of this video because there's some people saying some stuff about him that I do think we need to not give credit to, but at least understand in general, right? And he said, from what I've heard from several separate sources, in addition to their new games, Supermassive is reportedly working on a remake of Until Dawn for some time that will be coming to current-gen consoles. I will try to find out more about this potential project, okay? Now, that has led the internet to say a lot of things. So let's pretend this rumor's true first, okay? And then we talk about how I feel, and then we'll go into the other aspects. I don't like the idea at all. This would be stupider. And maybe this is controversial, maybe this upsets people, but just remember it's just my opinion. And I'm actually okay, unlike a lot of other YouTubers. You can disagree, and we can have our own thoughts separately. That's actually an okay thing to do in the world nowadays. I think this would be a stupider waste of resources than The Last of Us remake, which I also think is a stupid waste of resources. Now, you could make an argument for The Last of Us's remake much more than you could Until Dawn. Until Dawn is a much newer game. Now, could you do a curator's cut or a direct? I mean, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, those games have gotten director's cuts, right? But we know because of Supermassive, they have the curator's cut, which is additional scenes. You're playing it with two people, yada, yada, yada. There was a 4chan rumor that kind of coincided with this, by the way. Now, they could just be looking for clout attention, so I'm not really going to give it to them. But they said that there'd be another ending added. Characters could die in new places. They're not Sam specifically, she's not bulletproof anymore. She can die in a couple different spots in the game. So and I would imagine that would be true. If there was to be a remake, obviously it would be improved in terms of a visual perspective, but also you'd probably be adding a couple new things. You would probably add an extra ending or two. You would again I think leave the door open to have these people be killed off in different ways throughout the game where maybe previously you couldn't. Stuff like that. But the game's not old. The game is less than 10 years old, whereas The Last of Us, So it's this game is not that old whatsoever. I think this game holds up insanely well. The game still visually, at the very least, looks really good still. And I don't really even know how much you can improve upon it. You know what I mean? You're going to make it look as good as a House of Ashes? To be flat out honest with you, one of the main critiques I've always had with the Dark Pictures anthology, and I think a lot of people have, they don't improve much. They just don't. They've hit, the House of Ashes is my favorite by a mile of those three Dark Picture anthologies. But, to pretend it's some, massively, a big jump from any of the other games Supermassive has done recently is silly. To me, the game doesn't look 1,000 times better. It does look improved, but it's not that much of a different game. So again, in terms of just wasting, now I don't know if this is true. Again, we're pretending right now, right, that it is true. I just don't think it's a good use of resources for Supermassive to be making this. Just I don't think, and the reason, by the way, if you're oh, why is he so against The Last of Us? Same thing. I think Naughty Dog, very talented. I think they could do a lot of other things, or at least make another game versus the last. If you're making The Last of Us remake, that means you're not making something else that I do think you could make. Jak and Daxter, a new Uncharted, a new IP, whatever. But I just think it's a waste of resources, and I just don't think it's been long enough, and the improvements are really warranted to make it worth making a Last of Us remake, or specifically here, making an Until Dawn remake. So I don't like the idea whatsoever, okay? Now, let's talk about Account NGT really fast, okay? These are not my words, although I am going to give my own opinions on it, but I will say, right now, I trust the guy, okay? That could be naive, that could be wrong. I could be proven wrong in the future, and that's totally fine. I like to weed out the bad, the bad leakers versus the good ones, or the ones that aren't actually leakers, okay? But I will say, based off of what he's done, I will say I trust him as of right now. Now, as soon as he starts getting things wrong, obviously that is going to change, but right now, he really has Star Wars Eclipse to his name, right? He leaked pictures of Star Wars Eclipse weeks before the game was shown at the Game Awards. And by the way, I want to be fair to him while also being critical. I want to try to see all sides of it. he definitely knows what he's talking about when it comes to Quantic Dream. Like, in my opinion, there's no doubt, at least right now. Everything else, and I've seen this like on Reddit and stuff, people are definitely starting to question the guy. They're saying, well, maybe he got one thing right, and now he's clout chasing, and now he's just making up stuff from other properties and seeing what sticks. And that could very well be right. He also, though, could be well-rounded. Like, Tom Henderson is actually very well-rounded. He kind of started with Battlefield and Call of Duty, and then he kind of branched out, and now he really talks about everything and anything, and he gets a lot of this stuff right. So, I'm not saying Account NGT is like another form, the final version of Tom Henderson, but you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely possible. But I do just want to leave that possibility open because he hasn't gotten a ton of things right. He's gotten one thing very specifically right, and who knows if he's just clout chasing or if he actually knows what he's talking about. I don't want to be harsh on him, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. I don't want to like close that door. I think that's more than fair to question these people. I mean, that's the way of the game. That's just what it is. So, I don't know. And I guess I think the reason people are saying that about him now, like really going into him, is this really doesn't make any sense to do. Now, that could just be Supermassive Games is making a stupid decision, right? They're just doing something that doesn't really make any sense to put resources in, or he's making it up, right? And we all kind of fell for it. So, again, that's why I wanted to kind of keep my, I guess, opinion of it relatively open. But, we'll see. If it happens, then it better be worth it. There has to be really noticeable changes to it. I just don't think it's a good use of resources. I don't think it's a good use of time. I think they could easily just do something else or make better dark picture games. For me, they're 1 for 3 in terms of really good quality games in this arc. So I want them to be nailing these, and I don't want them taking too much time remaking a game that's, 7 years old, 6 years old. So I just don't think that's necessary. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, it's totally cool to disagree. We're actually okay with that here. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. If you guys want to follow me anywhere else, my Twitter, my second YouTube channel, and our Patreon and YouTube memberships, the links for all of them are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.